It's a concept that I brought. I am happy. The last time Mirror celebrated me that I'm the king of astroturf. I am extremely touched by that. I am humbled when I go somewhere and people ascribe astroturf to me. So it's become a household name, and I take glorification, and I take anytime people talk about astroturf, I'm excited. The agenda I am selling is that let every constituency have one astroturf. We have 275 constituencies. How many of them? We go to Okankwe South. Just recently they had one, Awudome. Okankwe North, yes they have. What about Osuklote constituency? What about other constituencies? When we did Medina, we challenged ourselves that look, we need to get FIFA certification or validation for the pitch. So I brought these guys. We decided like, look, let's go through the process very well. Dot the I's, cross the T's, make sure that we do them meticulously. And I am humbled to say that when we did it, FIFA came, they saw the good work we have done, checked the slopes, the movement of the football, the bouncing nature of the ball and all that. And then they validated that place. So Wembley is the first local company in Ghana, if not West Africa, to have constructed an edifice like this that has the recognition of FIFA. See, one significant point that people don't know is that if you are constructing an astroturf football pitch and you want to use it for national matches, you have to make sure that you buy your grass from a FIFA preferred producer. When you go to the FIFA website, CC Grass is FIFA #1 preferred producer. So we don't buy our grass. I went to China myself, sat down with CC Grass, and then we had an agreement to make sure that they do the production for us. So there's absolutely no way I will go to a wayside or any company in any country to go and buy my grass. I buy from CC Grass. I have receipts to that effect. I have documentations to that effect. The only grass I bought was from Hatco, and Hatco is also a FIFA preferred producer. Then we have Greenfield. They have stages. So we have FIFA preferred producers, and then we have the normal producers. So I buy from FIFA preferred producer.
How much does this cost to do?
You see, it depends on the size. This is 70 by 100 meters astroturf, so it falls within the FIFA range or the GFA range. So Accra Hasofo can play here, the Black Stars can play here. You see, when you go to the communities and you are going to do this astroturf, people sometimes criticize the contractors that we don't do it per specification. What they fail to recognize is that we are given a specific contract to do. If I come to your area or your community or your constituency or district and you have a bigger space like what prisons they have, and you give me a contract to do 70 by 100, certainly I cannot vary the terms. But if you give me a smaller football pitch like what we have in Ascend North, that's the land that they have available. That's how come we constructed that. That one is about 55 by 96. So it depends on the size that is given to you. So we don't do it per our own whims and caprices. You go to a place and then you start. It is based on the specifications that are given to you. So depending on the size, then you have the cost. So for now, I can say that looking at the dollar rate, when we started, the dollar was around 2 point something. Today, we are talking about 14 point something to a dollar. And therefore, if you have close to 4.5 million, you should be able to put up a decent, Ghana cedis, a decent astroturf, 70 by 100, and then you have your floodlights fenced properly. Then you can bring the auxiliary facilities like the changing rooms, the referee rooms, the spectator stand, the public washrooms, a VIP area, then a place for the media persons. Anytime they are playing football, they can have their cameras on. So it depends on the scope. No. That is why I'm saying that the 4-point-something million Ghana cedis, this edifice, and then you have the other auxiliary facilities also comes with its cost. But don't forget that it also depends on the morphology of the land or the topography of the land. If you go to a place and then the whole place is swampy, you have clay almost everywhere, certainly you have to scoop or you have to make sure that all those bad materials are sent away when we're doing Magdan La Park, we had to cut a lot of bad soil, clay, and deposited, and then we had to introduce laterite. Certainly, it will come with a cost. Sometimes also you go to a place, you need to do retaining walls. You get to a place, you have to do drains around it. So you have to go to the site, look at the makeup of the site, then you can be able to cost it effectively. I remember when we were last year, most of us, we were even going to be out of business. So we needed to raise a lot of variations, because if the major components and or almost all the components you are using, the lights, for example, the mesh, for example, and all your electricals and the grass itself together with the SBR is coming from outside, and the dollar moves from 4.8 or around 5 point something to 15, certainly, then yes. So we needed to raise some concerns with some of the people we have contracts with, and some of them acceded to our request and gave us something. That's how come we are continuing that. And you see, people don't know that a lot of stones are placed under the astroturf. So sometimes when we start, they don't understand. That's how come we had challenges in Kotobabi.
Yeah.
Because how come that you want to do a football pitch and you are bringing stones? You understand? They don't understand. But that is the process. After that, you bring your laterite. Then you compact it. You use the grader, earth moving equipment. You use your grader. You grade it nicely. Then you get your levels right. After which you start bringing your 25 mm stones. You bring it, you fill the whole place up to a particular level. And those levels are our trump card, so we don't say it on air, because it is what makes Wembley different from other companies. Yes. So you bring it to a certain level, then you do your pipe works. The pipe works, you have to make sure you do it well, so that when it rains, the water will drain into the chambers without you having any problem. So what people don't do is that, look, after the gravels, they don't also do it to the required levels. They just put the pipes don't slope well, the chambers are blocked, so when it rains, water doesn't flow. But Wembley, what we do is that after we've done the pipes works, we then bring the 10 mm stones. We put about 40 trips of an articulated track, 40, to come and level the whole place. Then, if it doesn't rain, we have to go and get tankers to come and put water on it. Then we'll be able to check the flow of the water. That's how come most of our pitches, you don't have water, any stagnant water on it. So you need to do all those things before then you lay the grass, after which you introduce what we call the silica or the river sand. You make sure you also get the levels. We have instruments in checking. Then you bring your SBR, which is the granules, and the SBR is made up of old car tires and all that. Come and put it on it, and then you check the levels, you check the flow. The pitch. Immediately it rains. 5 minutes after, you don't have to be able to get that problem. What we saw in Asen North, when His Excellency the Vice President was there, it was raining cats heavily, and 5 hours of raining. That's force majeure. Certainly, water will come, but immediately it subsides. Then the water will flow. Yeah. So
when these pitches go bad, what do you need to maintain it or bring it back to the shape you had it before?
Okay, let me say that the pitch itself, the normal lifespan should be around 12 years, after which you change it, because it is 55 millimeters. That is the height of the grass. What you normally do is to ensure that when some of the areas, they peel off, because we don't use the appropriate boots in playing, you just have to get a very good glue and then you patch it up. Then don't forget that as we do the construction, we put what we call the SBR, that is the granules, that makes the football bounce. Anytime people come to the football pitch to play football, they send some home in their boots and all that. So consistently, you must be able to check it to the appreciable level, then you replace. Then also you must make sure that the white lines are always very visible. You have to be doing consistent brushing to ensure that the flow of the football is enhanced. Don't forget that when it rains, the water must not be stagnant on the pitch for a long time. So we have pipes all over that you can't see with your naked eye. It is only when we are doing construction that you see. And don't forget that the number or the volume of 25 millimeter stones under this pitch is huge. This pitch, for example, we had to introduce about 50 trips of those gravels that you see there, after which we did our pipes. 20, no, I'm talking about 45 trips. Yes, articulator trips. That is about 20 cubic of the 45. After which you do the leveling, then you put your pipes, then you introduce the 10 millimeter. That one also the same 45. So you have about 90 of this under the grass. So it's not as if you just come to a place and then you just do the leveling and then you put the grass on it. The processes is very cumbersome and you need to go through it, like I indicated, meticulously. Then you will not be able to have a problem. So when you do all these things and then you lay your grass, then you are good to go. But you must ensure that the pipes that you have under, once in a while, you check the chambers and make sure that when it is raining, it is flowing. Just recently, you saw what happened in Kaukudi. If I do the construction for you and I hand it over for you, and then the deferred liability period is over, you certainly must be able to engage us to do the maintenance for you. So you send them a small contract for them to sign so that we do the maintenance they are not happy about. But I think maintenance is critical and key. So the areas that we are maintaining, we are not having challenges.
What do you think?
Every constituency that we go, we engage the people over there and we train them.
Oh, okay.
So we leave our mark there and then they do the maintenance.
Oh, okay.
So if we need to do another football pitch within that particular region, we engage them and then we go. So now
then you're providing job opportunities even for the people.
Certainly. And one other thing that I have also decided to do as the chief executive is to make sure that anytime the installation is going to be done, I will be there myself to supervise and make sure that it has been done and done well. So we are good to go. And let me say this to you. This is one project that is apolitical, and every MP, as I speak now, is in favor of this project, and they want it in their constituencies because they know certainly it will harness talents, it will bring people together. And in bringing people together, if you have a project like this, certainly you should be able to push the agenda forward, and you should be able to explain to people the reason why these projects are necessary in their communities, and the people will certainly be excited about. That is how come that every MP is looking at how they will be able to have this edifice in their constituencies, because you go to their constituencies, they have a lot of grassless pitches and they need to develop it. We see.
Let me ask
the last time Lai Kinson said, look, when they were young, if they had pitches like this, they would have done amazingly well, even though look at what they did.
Yeah.
You understand? So the point I am making is that, look, the youth are excited about it. It is making their flow of football enhanced. We are harnessing talent with these pitches. At the same time, we are having other events on it. If you have an event on Accra Sports Stadium today, the next day you can't play football. It is high time that we engage government to see how we will be able to also lobby FIFA, lobby CAF, so that these astroturfs are done in strategic areas. You understand? So that two constituencies can have one, and because it is fitted with floodlights, some of the young guys, you can play football 2 hours, and everybody will be excited about it. You understand? So the future is bright. We are positioning ourselves in such a way that we will be able to engage the politicians, the relevant bodies, the government in power, to see how we can be able to do it in a lot of areas, just to harness talents. Because like I indicated to you, it is better than these gravel pitches. A lot of people, this interview we are having, somebody will listen to the interview, watch the interview, and then he will say that, look, I had injuries, or I have not been able to play football to a particular level because of bad pitches. You understand? And so far, the astroturfs, I've not heard anybody complain that because of astroturf, but a lot of people, they have injuries because of bad football pitches, broken legs, twisted legs here and there. This one is better.